Those B-boys over there playing the song Shoop. And I think it's the original Waikiki built B-boys. I'm pretty sure because it's usually their spot. There are a bunch of different crews here that I guess compete for money or whatever, or space or attention. But these are the original guys. But anyway, I sing that song Shoop to Nia all the time, but I mix in a soul copping song. So boom bop bop, to want to get clean, you gotta take the elevator to the mezzanine pump. Hey, and it's on super bonbon, super bonbon, super bonbon. Shoop, shoop, baby, shoop, baby. That's rock vocal power. That's a semi-professional. What happened in my neighborhood? My mother-in-law was talking about the insane jump in crime we've had here over the past few years. 80% in homicides, gun violence, like we never really had here before. You know, I talk about this all the time. 44% jump in violent crime. That's the number they're admitting to. And she's like, "Ah, what's going on? Why is it like this now?" And I'm like, "Well, have you noticed anything else in your neighborhood? have you seen a lot of elements that we didn't used to have before at all, in great numbers?" That has a lot to do with it. Trying to red pill her on that. It's funny, it's like I know other people notice it, you know, because my neighbors, they talk to me about it, but they look both ways like 5 times before they do it. People are just so scared to be called like racist because they want to talk about how their area is being ruined with the arrival of a lot of people who were shipped over here after the lockdowns. You know, they're afraid to be called racist, you know. I am not racist. I like to think of myself more as a diversity critic. Speaking of racist, I just ran into my friends Schizo and Elliot. I talk about Schizo here sometimes. She's the girl that sends me scripture every day. It's really cool. She let me and Nia stay at her house when our semi-annual plumbing situation happened. She's from Zimbabwe, and her boyfriend Elliot, he's half African, half Caucasian. And man, those people go through a lot of crap because you're like in between worlds, you know. One side is a lot more open, one side of that equation. The other side is cruel. I'll let you figure out who's who there. But yeah, it's not an easy life because you don't feel like you belong to either side. And to get allegiance with one side, you have to do things that run counter to having a trouble-free life. You know, so yeah, I don't know what that must be like. But anyway, they were just talking about like makeup and stuff, and asking me when I started doing it.
And then you just go behind us.
It's not too prominent tonight, but yeah, I told him I've been doing this since I was like 14, 15. I was really into glam rock. Started singing in bands, and I was total glam back then. And then as the glam thing kind of started dying out, along with my interest in it, I sort of started getting more into punk. And then I was more of like a glam punk guy, and subsequently spent the next however many years in a glam punk band of some note in my area. Although competition in that genre was very slim, so being the most prominent band in that genre wasn't a hard thing to achieve. But then as I got older, the glam thing starts to, even glam punk, which is more of a dirtier aesthetic, more sort of DIY kind of put together, not really streamlined. There's a certain look, but it still involves you know, a lot of makeup. And as you get older, it just doesn't look as good. And from there, it transitions into darker makeup, darker muted colors. I guess it would be more like a goth punk look. And then as I came here, you really can't dress up here because it's so hot, you know. I'm in shorts and tank tops all the time, but I can still wear the makeup and the jewelry. So I just kind of, instead of glam punk, I just kind of look more, instead of goth punk, I mean, I look just like a goth, which is fine. That doesn't, you know, it's cool. But yeah, that's why I got to a lot of people about how you look like a goth person. I guess I am, but I didn't start out that way. It's been an evolution of edgelord looks. Yeah, this is what, Tuesday night? Tuesday night out here. It's pretty crowded. It's been like this all week. It's that time of year where things start to pick up here again. I've been purposely staying away from the news. Just sometimes I need to break from it. But I have been reading a lot about the eclipse thing that's coming up in April. I've already done videos about it, how it's supposed to be another pseudo doomsday date. I don't know. The weird thing is I had a guy in my comments that lives right around where the X is in the eclipse, where the eclipse is supposed to be. And he said they were passing out flyers in his area telling people about the eclipse. Like, what do you mean, like flyers? Like a gig or something? He's like, yeah. That's weird. I mean, I don't know, because someone's paying for that, right? It costs money. It has to be federal, unless it's state, you know. Someone either state or federal are paying for a promotional marketing campaign for the eclipse. It's kind of weird. Why is that? I don't know. I told him to keep me posted about it. He said he would. Hopefully they don't ban him. But yeah, that's really interesting. And maybe because it's on my mind, last night I had an element of eclipse in my dream when I traveled to the dream realms, separated from my body as you are when you hit that REM sleep and you dream. You're outside of your body. And most of my dreams lately, and it could be because of the time, are very post-apocalyptic, end of the world type stuff, where we're struggling to survive, and there's a lot of weird monsters, and whether it's supposed to be demons or whatever, we're always, you know, doing all this weird type of survival stuff against these things, elements. Last night we were on the highway and got ambushed by these things, but they have a really weird Achilles heel, and I forget what it was, but it's something really simple. I remember saying to everyone, all you gotta do is do this, and it immobilizes them. I don't know if it was like water or something, if that probably the movie Signs creeped in there somewhere, but yeah, it was like, yeah, they're easy to get rid of. And then our vehicles were trashed because they attacked us. We got onto this like duck boat type thing, like a, you know, some kind of personnel carrier, and we thought we were safe, you know. Come to find out that it's driven by rogue elements, you know, bad guys, whoever the bad guys are in this world. And they drove us to a friend's house, a guy I know, and he was living in this house on the river, and they smashed right into it. And I guess their idea all along was to destroy this guy's house. I don't know if it was a base of operations, but it turned out to be like a thing So now we were involved and it looked like we did it. And I'm trying to convince him, no, we just caught a ride with these guys. We had no idea they were going to torpedo your house. real interesting thing. So his house is on a river, and it's like falling into the river. But it still exists. It's still a part of it. It's falling apart. Everybody's trying to fix it. I'm helping to fix it. At one point, I went into the bathroom, I guess, to go to the bathroom, and I had a cassette in my hand. And the cassette fell out of my hand into his toilet, and suddenly everything started to overflow. I'm like, oh fuck! I run out of his bathroom, you know. Everything in the house, all the sinks, everything started overflowing because this cassette I dumped in there. So I run out and like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know what happened. something must have backed up. I wasn't lying. I was just, I wasn't about to take responsibility for that. It was a very tense situation. I didn't need the heat. But there was one point where we're trying to work on fixing his house from the U-boat attack that I was a part of unknowingly. And I guess there was an hour where in the middle of the night the sun comes up. And we're like, oh, it's sunny out now. We have an hour to go out and get parts or whatever, or get whatever we need, because when it gets night you have to get into the shelter because those things come out, those monsters come back out, and they're around the house and shit. But when the sun comes up, they go away. So the sun came up, we had 1 hour to get out there and get the stuff that we needed, supplies or whatever. And I didn't think about it at the time, but then I'm thinking, hey, that's an eclipse, really, is what that is. Or eclipse-like, in the middle of the night when it becomes daytime. And we had to scrounge around to get, I don't know, pieces to fix the house. It's very video game-esque. But yeah, all my dreams are like that now. And I can't lucid dream anymore. Most of my life, right, I was able to lucid dream. I would arrive in some scenario. You move from scenario to scenario, world to world. You move around a lot at night. And I would, after a short period of time, I would always realize that I was in a dream and immediately start like flying, because that was always something I like to do. And when I'd fly, I would feel like, oh yeah, this is how you do this. It was so familiar, the feeling of it. All you do is kind of push off. I'd take a few running steps and then push off. And then you're in the air. And when you're flying, or you're flying in your seats, I could feel it. I could feel like the air changing, and then it's like a glide. And sometimes I try to go higher, but I couldn't. And then like if you try too hard to get too high, you start falling down. Really weird. But lately, over the past, I don't know, as long as I can remember now, I never lucid dream. Whenever I'm in a dream, that is the only world that exists. I'm certain it exists. And speaking of which, keep an eye out. That guy's off in that parking lot. I see it. I see everything. I keep my eye on everything. You have to now. Thanks, CIA, for making my neighborhood dangerous. Fucking assholes. But yeah, end times dreams for me, are pretty fucked up. And I believe that's because that's where we're headed. I don't know if it's the exact scenarios I'm in, but it's almost like it's getting me more used to something like that, or used to a world like that. I don't know. See what happens. But yeah, it was later when I woke up and I'm walking around like, hey, that was an eclipse. That hour at night, we had to go and scrounge because whatever those demon monster things are, they can't go out in the daylight. Pretty kooky, pretty crazy. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about their dreams being weird now, or getting these premonitions in them, or things about eclipses. I don't know. And then there's that whole thing that I was talking about recently where The eclipse is supposed to be when those little hydras are activated. How do I explain this without getting in trouble? I'll put a picture of the video, because I think I explained it as good as I can in this video I did about it. That the hydras that are in certain people, a lot of people, and they're going to, because of the heat or something, because of the sun, it's going to bloom these things. And it's been shown all through antiquity. Like they've been warning us about these things in statues and drawings and all kinds of stuff dating back many, many years, about the snakes erupting out of people. Actually, it's kind of like the Pope in his throne room. The Pope's throne room. He has like a mural of it behind him. And it's the year of the dragon. It's been a weird year already. But no matter what happens, we're protected by God. We're going to be fine. We're going to walk this shit off. Anything that happens to you here doesn't matter. This is a little test. It's a little test here. And I believe it's more a test of character, because there is no pass or fail here. You can't beat the beast. You know, it's like a Kobayashi Maru situation. You're not expected to beat the beast. You're not expected to beat the beast. I think what's being cataloged is your behavior during the test, you know. And it's also a farm, so you gotta watch out for that. Because everything they do, everything the bad guys do, is to economize their cattle. They want to crash the U.S. to some extent, so that no one has anything, no one has any jobs, so that everyone's out in the street, right? Because if everyone's in the street, then, you know, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, if everyone's in the street and no one has anything, right? Then you have a case where the government can say, hey, we got everything you need down at the Happy Fun Time Center. At the FEMA Happy Fun Time Center, you know. Come on down here and we'll give you everything you want. And that's, I think, the plan. And then you get into a situation where everybody's going to be caged in, you know. They're all going to be caged into these cages. Just like you've seen in like a million of those type of movies, you know, where they have people that are in like, you know, those dystopian sci-fi things where they're all in the camp. And that's what they want. Whether they're going to get it or not, that's a different story. What's all that about? Huh. I don't know. Whenever I see guys with backpacks, I immediately get cautious. I do, because I think like you know, people with backpacks usually shoot people. You know, so when I see them messing around with keys and doors, and like he just was passing things through the bars, like to keep stuff open for later. Like, what the fuck are you doing with it, buddy? You know, I gotta watch that stuff here, because I can't have these people wandering around my building. You know, a lot of meth heads around here. I guess we got like a drug dealer on like the 9th floor, and because of that, there's been all kinds of weird people coming around looking for drugs. Some kid the other day was trying to get me to let him in the door, so I'm like, no, you crazy? Oh, come on, man. I'm like, I don't know you. Yeah, you do. It's like, fuck you, you fucking junkie. Even when I was a junkie, I never used to do shit like that. I never robbed anybody. If I didn't have money, I got sick, and that was it. Fucking tough titty. I'm glad I'm out of that. I got out of that. That was a long 5 years though of the opioid situation. I got in at the opioid thing at the very best time. I mean, it's no good time to get into it, but when I was into it, when I first got into it, it wasn't really a big issue. And I would go, well, should I be saying this? It is illegal. It's illegal to doctor shop. And some people, not me personally, but some people, what they would do is just go to any hospital in any town, USA, anytime, and just say, oh, I have a fucking tooth problem, my tooth hurts, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Here's some Percocet, or here's some Valium. You walk out, no one gives a shit. I mean, shit, you could do that. You were able to do that for a couple of years. And then finally it started to get crazy where everyone was doing it. And then, you know, but when it got real popular is when I got out. And I got out with Kratom. That stuff is a lifesaver, you know. It really helped. Because what Kratom does is it doesn't so much get you high, but it keeps you from being sick. And it keeps you, because what happens is you do these opiates, and then when you run out of them, you feel like shit. And it gets to the point where, man, I would do anything, you know, to get these opiates again. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I was usually pretty cool. But, yeah, people do, and it's, you know, not cool, right? So that's where you get violence. It's not cool. It's not cool, man. Okay. Yeah, I think my brain's tired. It's time to go upstairs. Till next time, thanks for dropping by. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.